What's up, guys? Welcome to UTV Off-Road. My name is Jeff. We're going to do a video today on just the things I think you need to take with you on like a 3 or 4 day trip. If you were to go to like Moab or Windrock or going, spend 3 or 4 days with your family up in the mountains at Hatfield McCoy or something like that. There's plenty of other places to ride. I mean, that's just something that pop off the top of my head. But this is just a little video based on things that I personally would, try to carry with me when I go places like that. Like if I'm going on a day trip, I don't need nothing but basically some, just some snacks and some extra fuel, maybe a little toolbox, or maybe something to cook on a grill or whatever. But I'm talking basically right now about a 2, 3, 4 day trip to places like Hatfield McCoy, Windrock, places like that. I don't want to try and repeat myself a whole lot, because I found out that doing these videos, if I don't pay attention to where I'm going in my line here, I have a tendency to try to repeat myself a little bit, and I don't mean to do that, guys. Just bear with me. I'm learning, so help me out and work with me on it. I do appreciate it. The first thing I'm going to go over is what I think everybody should have in their car, and this is just basically stuff to basically take care of the car out on trail. It ain't got nothing to do with taking care of, if you take care of the car, you're going to take care of yourself. But this is just basic needs and stuff that I think everybody ought to have with them to be able to take care of their car on the trail. First off, the first thing I think everybody needs, if you've got a car that's belt driven, you got to have an extra belt. For you guys that ride the Talon, and they got that new transmission, and that new transmission is lights out. And I think Honda did a great thing when they put that out. That they don't include you in this, but for most of the rest of us that have a belt-driven transmission, extra belt is a must. I'm a firm believer in everybody needs to have an extra belt with them if their car is belt-driven. So the next thing I'm a firm believer in is a spare tire. The worst thing, it can ruin a day when you out on trail and have a flat, and you never know, man. I've been out on bighorns. I had bighorns on some of my last stuff that I had, and I pure had a stick poke the sidewall. A stick, something as simple as a stick. It just poke a hole in the sidewall, and if you don't have a spare, it can make for a miserable day. If you don't have a spare, then at least have a tire repair kit of some sort, something that's got some plugs and stuff like that in it. I've seen guys out on the trail had 25, 30 plugs in one tire, in one hole. I seen a guy one day had a hole probably yay big around. I ain't no telling how many plugs they had in that tire, but I bet it was more than 25 or 30. And from what I understand, the guy rode the whole weekend with a tire like that. And, but he had, between him and his buddies, he had enough stuff there to fix it. So I'm a firm believer in having a spare tire, or at least a repair kit of some sort. Also, on your trailer, guys, a spare tire for your trailer is, that's a must. What are you going to be doing? You're going down the interstate, you get a flat. What you going to do? You're going to leave your trailer right there side of the road with your expensive side-by-side in it. And, so you can go up the road, 10, 15, 20 miles maybe to get the tire replaced or fixed, and then come back and your trailer be gone. No, that's not a good idea. I had a flat one time on an enclosed trailer I had, and I was on my way to Goldsboro to get the tires replaced because we were headed to Myrtle Beach for about 3 or 4 days and during bike week. And so I was headed over to Goldsboro to get the tires replaced, and about 3/4 of the way there, I had a tire blow out on my trailer, and I knew the tire was in bad shape. I was trying to make it to Goldsboro as quick as I could to get the tires from Sam's Club over in Goldsboro, and they were expecting me to be there. And when I pulled over, we get ready to put my spare on, and my spare didn't have any air in it. So if you've got a spare, guys, make sure your spare is aired up. You know, I know that sounds trivial. I know that sounds real trivial. And, you know, but I've been on the trail with guys, and they have a nice spare tire sitting up there on the rack or on the top or in the bed or wherever they got there towing it or, you know, carrying it in their unit, and pull it out of there and ain't no air in the tire. And beadlocks especially, sometimes beadlocks are bad for, you know, leaking down. So maintain your tires, you know, check your stuff all the way around your car and this and that. But you'd be surprised how many times I've seen somebody go to put a spare tire on and won't no air in the tire itself. It happened to me on my trailer, and I was on the way to get a set of tires. So I was within, you know, 5 miles of the place, you know, and I just said, well, the heck with it. I'll just, you know, kind of creep up there. And when I got there, the tire was just about tore all to pieces, but they ended up putting me 4 new sets, you know, 4 brand new tires on there. And I was able to come home, load up, and go to Myrtle Beach and everything. But I made sure my spare had air in it every time after that, I can tell you that. So just make sure that if you got a spare tire on your unit and on your trailer, make sure you air it up like you need to so you can change it out and get on about your business. The next thing is tie down straps. I was on a trip Hatfield McCoy one time, and tie down strap is not something I always carried in my box. I just never really kind of thought of it. I always had toe straps, stuff like that, but I never had a tie down strap. And I come up on a guy one time, he was sitting beside the trail, and he had been there probably 30 minutes or so trying to get a tire to clinch. He had actually repaired the tire. He didn't have a spare, and he was trying to get the tire to clinch back up, and he couldn't get the bead to push out far enough onto the rim to get it to take the air to clinch up. And some other dudes stopped, and he had a tie down strap, basic tie down strap, just like this right here, a ratcheting strap. You don't have to have a real long one. Just make sure it's long enough to actually go around the circumference of the tire and hook, and then you can ratchet it down. And as you ratchet that down on a flat tire, it forces them sidewalls out to the edges of that rim. So when you put the air to it, it'll clinch right up and go ahead and seat and beat up. So you won't be sitting there all day trying to beat a tire up. But ever since I saw that guy do that, I've been putting a tie down strap in my box when I go a 3 or 4 day trip. 2 or 3 day trip, whatever. Something else I always carry with me is don't make a mistake and go riding and don't have no extra fuel. Okay, extra fuel is a must. Now you don't need but a couple of gallons. Ain't no need to be carrying 5-6 gallons at the time. If your person wants to carry 5-6 gallons, then by all means buy it, you know, have at it, whatever. The tank that I got is like a flat. It's like a flat tank, about maybe 2.5 by 3, you know, 2.5 by 3 or something like that. About 2.5 inches thick, and it's flat, so I can actually put it under my box or strap it right to the top of my box, and it's flat and it holds about 2.5 gallons. And so it's not in my way, it's not sticking up, it's not bulky, you know, like a cooler, size of a cooler, small cooler or something like that. It's flat, so it's out of my way, and it works great. I've had it, I don't even know how long I've had it. I've had it probably several years, and it just works great for me. So, but it'll hold about 2.5 gallons, and you'd be surprised at how far 2.5 gallons will get you on one of these machines right here. It'll get you to the town where you can actually get some fuel maybe. And when you're up in the mountains, man, you just don't pull over and get gas most anywhere. You know, you sometimes you got to ride, you know, several miles, 15, 20 miles sometimes, and 2.5 gallons, that'll take care of it. So some extra fuel, that's a plus. Excuse me, I'm sorry. The next thing on my list is tools. Make sure you got some hand tools. I always try to carry like what I would consider the necessity type hand tools: screwdriver, pliers, maybe a small ratchet set, something 3/8. I don't really have to carry any kind of 1/2 inch stuff or whatever. And I always try and carry, I carry a little impact with me. This happens to be a snap-on version of a little small 3/8 impact, and it don't take up a lot of room in my box. and I can just throw it right in there, and it'll take the wheels off that car, nothing flat. It's 120 foot-pounds of torque. I'm not saying you got to go out and buy a snap-on. I mean, there's other companies that make them a whole lot less expensive than this that'll do the job, but that's just what I got because I worked for Snap-on for about a year or so, and I just acquired it working for Snap-on. So, and in the same, on that same note, make sure you got your lug nut tool, okay? Because if you've got aftermarket wheels, more than likely you got aftermarket lug nuts as well, because the holes are not as big in an aftermarket wheel as they are on a stock wheel. And if you got stock wheels, then make sure you got a socket that will fit your lugs or your lug nuts. And if you're using this tool, make sure you got this that'll go on there, and because it's got to go on that right there, and then that goes on to your impact or whatever. And so just make sure you got something that can actually turn this, because it's not made on the end. It's solid on the end. It's not made to go on a 3/8 drive, anything like that. So make sure you do have a socket that'll fit it. And about 80% of the people, I'm sure, out there riding has probably got aftermarket wheels, and if they do, they probably got aftermarket lug nuts. And you may be in a situation where you can help somebody else out. They may not have that tool. And I mean, I've been in that situation. I've been out there with folks, and then they didn't have nothing like that, and I was able to help them get them out of a vine. So that's just it's about trying to look after other people on the trail. Stop. You see somebody pulled over, stop and help them out. You know what I mean? If you're over there pulled over, and you might need some help, so you always try to help folks if you can. I'm a firm believer in that. Toe straps. Toe straps is a big thing. I have been places and didn't have my toe strap, and every time I do, I freaking need it. I ain't gonna lie, guys, I freaking need it every time. So I try not to make that mistake and leave home without my toe strap. I always try to carry 2 straps. And I'm not talking about an 80 or a 8-foot toe strap, 10-foot toe strap. I'm talking about a 20 or 30-foot toe strap. And keep in mind, man, that if you got toe straps that you've been using for 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 years, that toe strap's been wet, it's been dry, it's been wet, it's been dry, it's been wet, it's been dry. It may be getting a little dry rotted, and so over time you may have to replace them from time to time. So just keep maintenance, is a big thing. As far as your straps go, make sure you got a strap. As soon as you put it under a load, they ain't gonna snap, break, or something like that. So just keep that in mind. I always try to carry 2 toe straps with me, at least 20 foot long a piece. Even if I have a winch, which you can look right here, I don't have one right now, and I'm in the process of trying to get me a winch. But even if you got a winch, toe strap's a good thing, because you never know, you may pull your winch all the way out, 50 foot of rope, and that person may be 55 feet, or 60 feet off. You can't get to them. You got that 20-foot strap. You can actually help them, get them out in the situation, and it'll work out for you, them, everybody else, and it'll be a whole lot better situation. So go ahead and get you a good set of straps to carry with you. I always carry 2. The next thing on my list is a flashlight, some sort of lighting. Now, somebody might say, well, I got headlights, or you got a light bar or whatever. What happens if your battery's dead? Okay, if your battery's dead and you need to change out a battery, it ain't gonna do you no good to have headlights and a light and this and that and everything else. So I always try to carry a flashlight. I ain't really sure what the lumens is on this particular one I have here, but I do know it's really bright. And the other light that I have is like a mechanic's light that I carry with me. That's this battery powered, got lithium batteries in it. It has a magnetic back on there, so it can be magnetics. You can stick it right to whatever, and when I'm working on it or whatever, it helps me see. It's got 2 settings on it. It run like 2 hours on high and about 5 hours on low. And something else that I always carry with me is I always carry the charging cord for that particular light. And it hooks into my phone jack, and as you can see, it'll hook right into the back USB type of thing. This hooks into the car. This hooks right into this. And then the other end hooks into your light, and you can charge your light in about, just light charges up in about 30 minutes. So to full blast, then you got another 2 hours worth of light, on high, or another 5 hours worth of light on low. So I always try to have some sort of extra lighting, just in case you got a bad battery or something like that. I even know guys that actually carry extra battery with them. And depending on where they're going, they'll carry extra battery. And if you got that extra light and it's nighttime and you need to change that out, hey, you can hook that, stick it right to your roll cage, and you got all the light you need to change the battery right out. And, if you got that little impact and a little set of tools, you pop them seats right out, you're good to go. You can have them be back on the road in, 15, 20 minutes. So that's just, things that I like to be able to carry with me. The next thing is, on the car, I like to have first aid kit. I'll be the first one to tell you, I hope I don't never have to use a first aid kit, but if you got it and you need it, you got it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a winch. Everybody say, well, a winch, you don't need a winch, but when you get in a bind where you need a winch, you need a winch. That's all there is to it. First aid kit's the same thing, man. It might get you back to the truck, and, it might help save a life or something like that. You never know. You can buy a little first aid kit from the drugstore. They come in a little case, probably about this size right here. And you can carry everything from bandages to Band-Aids to mercurochrome, methylate, neosporin, eye drops. I tell you something else, man. Eye drops in a first aid kit, that's a freaking must. I bet some of you never even thought about having eye drops in your first aid kit, or even just having a bottle of eye drops in your glove box to wash your eyes out on a dusty day or something like that. You get enough dust in them eyes and you'll be glad you got them eye drops. I promise you. Especially people wear contacts. I wear glasses. I've got reading glasses. I don't have to wear them all the time. Man, I can read a newspaper from here to the stop sign, but I can't tell what time it is that far away. You know what I'm saying? Without my glasses. I just got to that age where, my arm just ain't long enough to be without my reading glasses. And with that said, something else that I carry with me is I always got this little case right here with me. There's an extra pair of reading glasses in here. Sometimes I'll break mine right across the nose here, or I'll break the arm off or whatever. And if I need to be reading my phone for GPS or reading my GPS to see where I'm going without my glasses, I'm SOL. So I always try to make sure I got an extra pair of reading glasses. And I'm at that age where I didn't have to have that. That wasn't a necessity. It's something I had to think about. But I'm at that age now. I'm 50. I'll be 54 years old at the end of this month, end of September. So I always try to make sure I got an extra pair of reading glasses with me. It just makes life a lot easier for me personally. So I hope that helps some of you out. That's just a couple of things, guys. Tool-wise, I'm going to go back to the tools a second. One thing in the tools that I always really like to have with me is a pair of vice grips and a small pair of channel locks. You'd be surprised at how much stuff a small pair of channel locks and a small pair of vice grips could do for you on a trail. A big pair, like 8-inch vice grips is a good thing to have as well. I've had vice grips get me out of a lot of binds on the trail. Back a long time ago when I was riding sport quads all the time, I've had a pair of vice grips get me back to the truck several times. Okay, and a good pair of vice grips is just a good tool to have in your bag. Common hand tools, screwdriver, pliers, like I said before. Little small ratchet set or whatever, something that can, if you're riding a Can-Am, you need at least a 30 Torx, because everything on this machine here is a 30 Torx or a 27.5 or something like that. Make sure you got your lug nut thing that you can get your wheels and tires off and this and that. But just good, that's just good food for thought, you know what I mean? Good things. Be prepared, have that stuff with you. If there's anything else, guys, that you can think of that I didn't add, please let me know, you know what I mean? I know some people like to carry a jack. I've never carried a jack because it seems like just about every time I go, I'm riding with, 4 or 5 other cars. And if I got a good tow strap, and that's where that 20 20-foot tow strap come in handy. I can wrap that tow strap around that roll cage and hook it to another car and have that car pull forward a little bit and get that unit up on its side enough that you ain't got to lift it 6 feet off the ground. Just get it up enough that, and put the brakes on the other car, get it up enough that you can undo them lugs and pop that wheel off, pop that other wheel back on, put the lugs right back on it, and the car can back up and sit you right back down on the ground. And but it seemed to me like everybody I ride with, somebody in the group has a jack. You know what I mean? And if they don't, then I'll put a strap around that roll cage in a hot minute, and I'll hook it to another car and tell them to ease forward and lift it up enough on its side that I can get it up, you know, a couple of inches off the ground, enough to make it work, pop that wheel off, put it right back on, and then we're back rolling. So that's just good food for thought, man. You know what I mean? Try to be prepared if you can. If I missed anything, please leave it in the comments, guys. You never know. I don't know everything. And, man, I'm a long ways from being, you know, knowing everything. So if there's something that I missed that you guys like to carry with you, please share it with me. I'd like to know it. Maybe it's something that I hadn't thought of and I need, you know, with me. But moving on to the next thing, guys, is the need for yourself and your passenger. I'm a firm believer, if you're going on one of these real long rides, man, get you a helmet, man. If you're not going to wear a full face helmet, and go ahead and get you a good one. You know what I'm saying? Because that's, you know, that's your brain. That's, you know, that's important. You can't get another one. I know, you know, sometimes you can ride and things, you know, don't never happen, but then sometimes you go out and you go riding or whatever, and you're in an accident and you think, good Lord, you had that helmet on. You know what I'm saying? So get you a good helmet. Eye protection is real important. If you don't have a good pair of goggles or whatever, you know, I usually try to make sure I got at least 2 pair of goggles. You know, one for my, you know, one that I'm using and a spare in my bag. And you know, my spare might benefit my passenger. It might benefit me. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But I always like to try to make sure that myself and my passenger both have a pair of goggles. And if we don't have a pair of goggles, we at least got a pair of sunglasses or a pair of like working glasses. Something, let me get this, something like this here, you know, clear. You know, you can ride with these. They got a strap on the back of them, and they'll stay on pretty good. These are a little dirty because they're up there on my workbench, but you know, but they're clear, so you know, you can use them at nighttime. Just during the day, you can wear your sunglasses. If not, then wear a pair of goggles. If you get them dirty or nasty or whatever, I raced for a while, so I use the tear-offs a whole lot. And when you get to the end of your tear-offs and you know, you hit a mud hole and it's right, you know, you're really getting it around a corner or something like that, and somebody hits the throttle on you, and next thing you know, you know, I've been through a curtain of mud before and just soaked my goggles down. I couldn't see nothing or whatever. You might can pull over to a stream or whatever, wash them off or whatever. If not, say, hey guys, I'm pulling over, you know, swap them out, get the pair out your bag, and move on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? So eye protection is a good thing to have. I'm a firm believer that if you're riding in cold weather, you need a head sock. You'll be surprised at how comfortable something that's covering your nose and your cheeks and your face, like a head sock, you leave this part of you know, is open. And when you put that helmet on, how warm that can actually keep you in cold weather. Now, we're just talking about cold weather here. You don't even need a head sock in warm weather, but for mountain riding in the wintertime, and it's, you know, getting toward the end of September now, and, you know, things are going to start changing, and, you know, going into some colder rides and stuff, a good head sock is a good thing to have inside your helmet, you know, wearing it inside your helmet, keep you good and warm, make you comfortable, make for a lot more, just make for a better ride all the way around. You know what I'm talking about. I always carry extra gloves with me. In the summertime, I wear these gloves like this right here. These are kind of like a pair of like mechanics gloves. The ones I wear, they're called the G Grip. If you buy them on Amazon, I think they're maybe $20 for a dozen. Okay, comes in a big pack. They'll have a dozen in a pack. You can get them in multiple sizes. You can look them up. I bought these off of Amazon. They come in a box, I think, for a dozen for around $20, $22, something like that. I always carry at least 2 pair with me. There's a pair in my glove box, and this is the pair I normally drive with. But that's how they come, just like that in that package. But anyway, in the wintertime now, I'll wear something a little better. I'll wear something a little thicker, a little warmer, stuff like that. I don't have them in here in the shop with me right now, but I actually have a pair of heated gloves that are leather that I wear in the wintertime when I'm riding. So they got a little battery in them, and I can push the button and they keep my hands nice and warm. And they're leather, so they're watertight, waterproof. And I paid a little bit of money for those gloves. I bought them because they were battery powered. They would keep my hands warm, and they were watertight. So if something like that, you're gonna pay a little extra for them. But they're a good thing to have in the wintertime, man. Ain't nothing more miserable than to have your hands and your feet freezing when you're out riding. It makes a more miserable time. I always wear a good pair of boots in the wintertime when I'm riding and keep my feet good and warm. And I always try to keep my hands warm, my face warm. And you know, you'd be surprised at what you can do. You can stay out all day and be comfortable as long as you're warm, you know, and comfortable. So that's just things that I feel like, you know, the helmet, the eye protection, and the goggles, head sock, that kind of thing. I just think that's all real important stuff especially for cold weather riding. The next thing I'm thinking about is, next thing I've got listed here on my list is carry a cooler. You know, carry a cooler and carry some water. You know, you'd be surprised at how many times I've been riding and people have left the parking lot or the trailhead with 1 bottle of water, you know, in their cup holder. You know, don't have anything in the back, and they ain't got nothing else to drink the rest of the day. You know what I mean? That ain't cool. You know, that ain't good. I always try to leave out with several bottles of water. I usually buy I get this by the case. Matter of fact, these people here, they're right around the corner from me. Here where I live in Wilson, North Carolina, their packaging plant is right around the corner from me, and I'll call them, and I have 5-6 cases at the time delivered. We drink a lot of the Blue here. It's good water. And I always carry, you know, 7-8 bottles with me all the time anyway. So, and then you never know, man. You got that person out there that don't have anything to drink. You say, hey, look, man, I got some extra water in my cooler if you need a water or something to drink. And, you know, they're great. They're grateful. You know, they're glad to get it. You know what I mean? You're like, heck yeah, man. You know, I know some of you going to say, hey, you know, we got to have some beer now. You're messing up. You ain't said nothing about no beer. Well, I personally don't drink beer, and, you know, but if that's what you want to do, then that's by all means, have at it. I don't like particularly to ride with people that's been drinking a lot of beer. I had a bad experience, you know, years and years ago. I had a bad experience with, you know, a situation where somebody was drinking and run into me. And so it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. But, you know, I'm not opposed to riding with people that won't drink beer. I mean, everybody, we're out there to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? And that's some people's form of relaxation, is to drink them a beer. And I got no problem with it. If that's what you want to do, is drink you a beer when we stop at an overlook or something like that, and you say, well, man, I'm going to have a beer. You want a beer? And I'm going to say, no, I don't need a beer. I appreciate the offer. But I'm going to get me some water, and, you know, not even 2 beers. 2 beers would be fine. But to sit there and drink several beers, that's overkill, man, and there ain't no place on the trail for that. If you want to drink a couple beers during the day, by all means. If not, you know, you want to drink, if that's what you want to do is drink, then stay at the cottage, you know what I mean, or at the campground or wherever, and drink beer all day. Because it really ain't no place for getting tore down drunk on the trail. You're not going to do nothing but hurt yourself and somebody else. And so be respectful of other people. And I got no problem with somebody wanting to have a beer or two at a stop. And we 30 miles later, we stop again. You want to have another beer or so, or whatever. And, you know, when you get back to the campsite or wherever we're at, and you want to drink 10 or 15 beers, by all means, have at it. I mean, you'll fall down and have a good old time. We'll have a good time. I may not get drunk with you, but we're still gonna have a good old time. And you know, I'm gonna try to take care of you if I can. You know, because I know you're there to have as much fun as I'm doing, as I am. And you know, if you want to have a good old time drinking some beer, then that's all right with me. I got no problem with it. I just don't see the need to drink a ton of beer on the trail during the day. It puts other people in, yourself and other people in jeopardy. The next thing I see on my list is snacks and food. I'm a firm believer in try to have some snacks with you, man. You never know. You could be gone, several hours. A place like Hatfield McCoy, man, you can leave Trailhead in the morning. You may not get back to the Trailhead until 6, 7 o'clock that afternoon. And if you haven't been anywhere to have some lunch or whatever, and you've got some stuff with you, and I'll just tell you some of the stuff I take with me. I like to carry these little Tyson packets right here. This is chicken. You got a little, I usually keep me a little box of plastic forks in my bag. And I can tear one of these open and have some chicken right on the trail. And any number of white meat chicken is good. You ain't got to heat it. You ain't got to cook it or anything. It's already pre-done. Everything's good to go. I know some of you are going to say, I don't like that. But I also like albacore tuna. This is full white meat tuna. I'm not a big fishy person. I don't like fishy stuff. But this right here is pretty good. It's a good form of protein. This and that chicken, that's a good form of protein when you're out on the trail. And you can munch that down pretty quick and move right on, wash your mouth out with a bottle of water and, get you some crackers or something to eat with it. And it's pretty good, especially on the trail. Like you can buy the cans of Vienna sausage at like Fred's Club, Sam's Club, places like that. Depending on where you're at, what part of the country you're in, you got other little like surplus type stores, like that you can shop at that you can get the Vienna sausage. Vienna sausage is a good thing to have on the trail. Some little can got, 6 or 8 sausages in a little can, and you can eat that. That'll fill you up. Little small cans of pork and beans. Man, I've made a mini meal out of pork and beans and a pack of saltine crackers. I have to eat the low sodium ones now because I can't eat beef jerky. Beef jerky used to be my go-to. I'd have 3 or 4 bags of different flavored beef jerky in my bag, and I know a lot of people right now still do. I just can't have the sodium now, so I veer away from the beef jerky for myself. Now, I always carry beef jerky with me because my son eats it, my wife eats it, and some of our other friends, they eat it, and beef jerky is like a go-to for a lot of people to put in their bag because it's easy. I mean, hell, it was so easy. The Cowboys carried it with them when they went, back in the day. So, we pork and beans, Vienna sausages, the albacore tuna in the packages like that right there, and the Tyson. And the next thing on my list, guys, is if you're going to carry all that, then you're making trash, okay? And I'm a firm believer in everybody needs one of these, in their stuff. This is a trash bag. Put your trash in a trash bag and put it in your car, and just carry the trash out with you. When you go in on a trail system like that, them people out there working them trail systems, they're working mighty hard to provide a nice, clean environment, groomed places, for us to ride and go and have a good time with our friends and families. And why can't we do our part and try to keep it clean? And a little trash bag like this right here to put your trash in when you're done with your lunch or your break or whatever, and take that trash out with you when you get back to the trailhead. A lot of times at the trailhead, there'll be 50-gallon drums all over a trailhead parking lot, and you just walk right up one of them trash cans, put it right in there, and then they got some maintenance people come out and take that trash off, do away with it the proper way. And then it ain't out on the trails, and you ain't riding through the trails and it all junked up with trash and this and that. You know what I mean? So do your part, guys. Put your trash bag in your bag and do your part to help take the trash out. And if you ride by something and there's a bottle or something on the ground, don't just keep going. Stop, pick that bottle up, and put it in your trash bag. Pack that trash out of there, man. Do your part to help keep it clean, man. That's just good business. You know what I'm saying? The next thing I'm a firm believer of is we talked about a while ago, is the car charger. You gotta have a car charger, man. You can go out there. I know a lot of times you go in the mountains and stuff, you ain't got service to make a phone call or anything like that, but you still can get, sometimes you can get internet. Sometimes you use it for your GPS. Sometimes it works for your purpose GPS. I see some people have like the big, the Garmin's and this and that and all kinds of things for GPS and this and that. And I use my phone. I use a little small GPS, but it works for me. It helps me get back to where I came from. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, if you go someplace, maybe it's the first time you've been there, and you don't know exactly where you're at. It's a good idea to maybe go to a trailhead where you buy a pass. A lot of times you got to buy a pass to get on the trails, and at that place where you buy your pass at, you can get maps. And carry them maps with you, man. Put them in a Ziploc bag. I carry all my stuff. I put all my stuff in a big gallon Ziploc bag, like this right here. Anything I don't want to get wet, I put it in a big gallon Ziploc bag. Now I have a wet bag that I got from, I don't even know where I got it from. Maybe it's a Snap-on wet bag, but you put a bunch of stuff in that, you roll it over and snap it, and you ain't getting no water in it. It's a dry bag. It's what it is. But like for my wallet and my phone and my charger and just stuff I really don't want to get wet that I want to put in my glove box, I put everything in a Ziploc bag, and it stays watertight all day. You know what I mean? So just a gallon size freezer bag, a good quality gallon size freezer bag. And put all your stuff in that, put it in your glove box, and you got quick access to it. You don't have to go to the back of the car, open up a box, digging all in it, trying to find something or whatever. Just stuff you need quick access to, put that in a Ziploc bag and put it in your glove box and move on. You know what I mean? You have quick access to it. And something else that I see a lot of people forget, and that's a bag of extra clothes and a towel. You can get really nasty during the day out riding, and there's nothing more refreshing than really to pour a bottle of water across your face and wipe it down with a towel that you had in your bag, and it can get the mud off your arms and your hands and your face and this and that. And you can slip over to your truck and maybe slip into a fresh t-shirt, a fresh pair of shorts, or a fresh pair of pants or something along those lines, and maybe some slip-on shoes, something easy to get in and out of till you can get back to your campsite when you're leaving the trailhead after you get loaded up at the end of the day. And it just makes for a better time. You know what I'm saying? But so far, guys, that's baby wipes. Baby wipes, man. Baby wipes are a good thing to have in your bag. Man, you can get the nooks and crannies in your eyes and stuff like that. And trust me, hit them eye drops like I was telling you, man, you'd be surprised at how much better you'll feel with that baby wipe cleaning them eyes out and them ears and in them eyes and just flush them eyes out and get the grit and grime out of them from a day's ride. You know what I mean? It's worth its weight in gold, to be honest. But again, guys, that's kind of my list of things that I need to take with me. If there's anything I forgot, please, like I said before, with the stuff for the car, if there's anything I forgot for you and your passenger, post it up, man. Make a comment and say, hey, man, you forgot this. And I'll be like, oh, you know what? That's a good idea. I never thought about that. Get you some of them little small bottles. Go to Walmart or Target or whatever. They got them little small bottles. You can put your little small bottle of alcohol in your first aid kit. You can get your little small bottle of peroxide in your first aid kit. You never know when that might come in handy, man. You just really never know. You don't want to carry a big bottle like that of peroxide. I mean that's 32 fluid ounces right there. You ain't no need to pack that around, but you can go and get a little small bottle, something about that size right there, and put some peroxide in. Another one, you got to put some alcohol in or a bottle, and flush out a wound or something. You never know. I've been out with people that quirky mess happens. You never know. But the best thing to do is try to be prepared for, about any kind of situation you can be in. You won't never be prepared for everything, but if you think about it before you leave and you go out, you can hit off a lot of things. But that's kind of my video for today, guys. I wanted to kind of make a shout out to some guys from some other channels that kind of inspired me to do this. I know if you're in this sport or, in this industry or whatever, I'm sure everybody out there knows about Side by Side Blog. Those guys, man, they're awesome. You know what I mean? Those guys are they inspired me to do this. And I sat around on my can and I didn't do it for a long time. And I said, I ought to start me a YouTube channel. And I'd watch their videos. I'd watch other videos. I'd watch different stuff. And I really like their channel, man. Them guys are smart. But they've got it lit now. They got a top-notch mechanic. They actually got two really good mechanics with Doug Butterfield and Rick. And then they got a top-notch tech guy that knows all about the editing and the filming and everything with Nick Leonardo. And then they got, the other guy, Nick Seuss. He's just a bowl of fun. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that dude's just super cool. That's all there is to it. I mean, he's pretty good at the mechanic stuff. He's pretty good at the filming stuff. He ain't the top guy on none of it, but he does a lot of the stuff well. And he's just fun to watch. You know what I mean? And they got a real good crew there, man. And I think the world of them guys. They inspired the crap out of me to get off my can and start making some videos. And maybe maybe I can inspire somebody else to get off their can and start making some videos and put some information out there for the people to, maybe I touched on some things that, maybe you say, man, you know what, that guy hit on something right there I ain't never thought about. One thing's for sure, I ain't gonna shoot you no curveball, and I'm gonna shoot straight with you. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm gonna tell it how it is. I ain't really one brand specific, on anything. I think there's, most anything you get today nowadays is a good car. But back to, I'm gonna shout out to the other guys. Blown Budget Off-Road, I like them guys. They are super cool dudes, man. Side by Side blog, go give them a like and subscribe. You'll watch their videos, you'll like what they're doing. Blown Budget Off-Road, go like and subscribe their videos, you'll like what they're doing. Another guy that I watch is called Bullet Outdoors. I think the guy's name is Josh. He's from Colorado. And I really enjoy watching that guy's videos. He does a lot of really good rides that I would love to go do. And like I said, if I lived in, Colorado or whatever, I'd ride with that dude all the time. He makes a pretty good video. It's called Bullet Outdoors. The guys that I spoke about before was Blown Budget Off-Road. They're some young guys, and man, they're knocking that out the park. Them guys ride hard. They do some crazy stuff. I love their channel. It's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of excitement on their channel. They started out kind of small, and their channel's grown a lot. And they got some pretty bad rigs, man. I ain't gonna lie. They got some pretty bad rigs. They got a sweet Turbo S on that channel. And they got a pretty nice Maverick X3 XRS on that channel. And I think they've started out riding a YXZ, I believe. And man, they punished them cars. They punished them. They're a lot of the reason why I went with some of the stuff that I did on my car when I started, doing my car. I seen stuff they were doing to theirs, and I was like, well, you know what I mean? That's a pretty good idea. That's not a bad idea at all. And but they got some pretty tight rigs on that channel. Deranged Off-Road, those guys, they, in the last 6 months to a year, their channel has grown by leaps and bounds. Super great dudes, man. I love to watch their channel. They got good information. So go give all them guys, all them channels that I'm talking about, are they're really good channels. And I follow probably 25 or 30 more that I ain't even thinking about right now, because I kind of got a brain lock or whatever. But those are just some right off the top of my head that I really watch. I hit them up a couple times a week. I follow some of them on Facebook. I follow some of them on Instagram. But this is my channel. I hope you like my channel. I hope the information that I give you is good information. If I've said something that's wrong, please feel free to correct me. I'm not opposed to, constructive criticism, help anybody out. You know what I mean? I try to do things the right way. I try to be a straight shooter. I love the sport. I'm really passionate about it. And I'll be honest with you, I look forward to the day that I get a chance to go ride with some of the guys that I just mentioned. You know, I would love to take off and do a Moab trip with, you know, several of them guys. I mean, I'd do it in a hot minute. I got a lot of respect for all of them that I mentioned. And there's even some more, like I said, that I did mention, because I probably just can't think of the names, the channels right now. But just, you know, I love doing it. I hope you guys are enjoying what I'm doing. I hope this video has helped you out. Maybe I hit on some pointers and that, you know, maybe you hadn't thought about, or, you know, if there's something that I missed, please feel free to tell me. I love to have a great conversation with anybody. I'm open to whatever. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you guys stopping by and spending the time. So for now, thanks again a ton. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you guys on the next one, UTV Off-Road.